Welcome to Aussie Stadium, which incredibly has dodged a dumping that we've had here in Sydney today. Very heavy rain in most parts of Sydney, but incredibly, as I said, the football stadium has missed it. Gordon Tallis plays his 100th game for the Brisbane club. Premiership game. Alan Langer hasn't been here since 1998. The grand final of 98 was the last time the football stadium saw Alan Langer. Carlo is in the side tonight. This man has been in sparkling form. Sivanasiva. And now the Sydney Roosters, minus Brad Fittler, their record without him is terrible. And Simon Bonetti is out, and so is Adrian Morley. But ironically, in the corresponding match last year, they were missing a halfback and a front row forward. There's the captain, Luke Ricketson, for this match of the round to get us underway in round 3 of the 2002 Telstra Premiership. The Cards. And
there are a number of changes to the side, defeated by the Warriors last weekend. Mullins at fullback, Hegarty and Minicello the wingers, Cross and Hodges the centre pairing, Chris Flannery in for Fittler at 5'8", Craig Wing at half, Luke Ricketson locks the scrum and captains the side, Fitzgibbon and Fletcher in the second row, Lomu, Crocker for Bonetti, Cusack up front for Morley, off the bench Hood, Obst, Groth, Liafa, and their coach is Ricky Stewart.
And the Brisbane Broncos line up this way. Darren Lock is the fullback, to Kerio on one wing. Chris Walker comes off the bench, scored 5 tries last week for the Toowoomba Clydesdales. Kelly and Devere in the centres, Berrigan the 5'8", Langer the halfback, Ashley Harrison locked forward. Gordon Tallis one second rower, Dane Carlo comes in. Brad Myers has been dropped to that Toowoomba Clydesdale side. Webke and Sivanasiva the props. Shane Walker's the halfback, and the interchange of Tate G. Lee and Carl Webb, coached by Wayne Bennett.
Paul Simpkins, the referee. The record under him for the Roosters is quite good. Left to right goes the home side in front of a understandably small crowd. And Patero Sivanasiva is the first one to take it back. Broncos then losing the ball. Second tackle of the game. Knock on against them. Golden opportunity for the red, white and blue from Bondi Junction. This is the culprit, and it is the big fella. Last week, I think it was something similar. Precisely. Shaky starts in the last couple of weeks for the Bronx. Flannery's in 16. He's deputising for Fittler. Can't blame him if the boots feel a little bit big. Ricketson, 3 away from the Broncos line. Fletcher's dummy half. He'll have to play a leading role, as will Wing. Now Lomu trampling over the top of a would-be tackle from Berrigan. 11 out. They hit the blind side again. And the kick has gone over the dead ball. So they really didn't build the pressure they were entitled to. Shane Walker is the number 9. Carlo wears 17. Brad Myers relegated from the 17 back to the Clydesdales. 13 is Harrison locking the scrum to the eastern side. 12 in, 38 out from their own line. Webke. Ricketson up the top. 15 is Crocker. He's in the hooking role tonight. No Simon Bonetti. Look at Gordon Tallis reveling in the tough stuff. Walker again for Langer, and Langer puts a little kick down into the northeastern corner. There's a bit of urgency. Hegarty, who had a few problems last weekend across the Tasman, does the right thing, cleans it up professionally. Langer will pepper him tonight.
Well, that's a superb kick, isn't it? Into the in-goal area. Shannon Hegarty taking no chances. Drives on the football, a line drop out to restart play. Yet you go up the other end of the field. Craig Wing has a kick from 10 metres out. Couldn't get it into the in-goal area. All the pressure released.
Twice they played last year. Roosters won both premierships games. 2018 and 2016. The latter at ANZ. Incredibly, the Broncos have won only 3 of their last 12 premiership matches. As we watch the line drop out. Go a long way And Webke brings it back to 42 metres out on tackle 1. No score. 2 3/4 minutes gone in the Friday night match of the day. Dropped again. No assistance from the defence. Scrum feed will go to the Tricolours.
That's 1 drop each for the big Brisbane props. Some strong defence by the Roosters. Plenty of back slapping there. Was there a hand in there by one of the Roosters?
Go in,
By Lomu. If there was, it went missed by the referee.
Paul Simpkins, our man with the whistle tonight, as they come through from Flannery and work down the right-hand side of the ground on the western side. This is Cross. He and Hegarty had a bit of a problem defensively over there last weekend. Halfway line is with us. And the Telstra NRL emblem just out of our camera's range at the moment, but Fletcher has his legs cut from underneath him effectively by Alan Langer. Now Flannery switches play from the open to the blind and puts Fitzgibbon looking for a hole in behind the play the ball. Craig Fitzgibbon, who snatched that victory 20 points to 18 for the Roosters in one of those matches last year. Now Ricketson running across and then finding Ryan Cross, who's got play down towards the 20-metre line. The defence converges. In 16, you would have noticed, is Chris Walker playing on the wing for Brisbane. He's had a rather turbulent couple of weeks, but he's in the top side tonight as Hegarty takes it on the full. It came off the boot of Brett Mullins, and it's come down to Brisbane. Just for a moment I thought there might have been an accidental offside against the Roosters, but it's allowed to go. Lockyer's with it.
And I expect to see Darren Lockyer get very involved in this game tonight. He's had a couple of weeks now to acclimatise to Alan Langer being in the side. He's a little bit dusty after the tackle, Darren Lockyer, in fact. There's a penalty awarded for raking the football. And Lockyer is in a fair degree of discomfort out there, as Brian Fletcher is the man penalised.
Langer then for touch. Veteran of 31 origins and 22 test matches. Kangaroo tours in 90 and 94. Sivanasiva only just joined the green and gold elite over the last couple of years. Tallis now angling it towards the centre and crossing the 30-metre line. Already the signs are there that he's going to have to be addressed with a little bit more respect. Now Webke turns, offloads. Walker was waiting diligently. Langer pushes the pass. They knock on again. Pushing it.
Yeah, good defence by the Roosters, coming up quickly, putting pressure on all players concerned. There were quick hands by Alan Langer, and that was not the best of passes that should have been taken. This clash tonight of the two number 11s, absolutely fantastic. The two best second rowers in the country, if not in the world, and how they play might determine just which team wins.
And you would expect both Fletcher and Tallis to be out there for pretty much the duration. In fact, Gordon played the full 80 last week. Brian Fletcher missed just 5 minutes. So they'll have plenty of involvement.
Fletcher with it now. Crocker. A run from dummy half, the first dummy half run of the night. 35 metres out from the Brisbane line as Fletcher again at dummy half finds Fitzgibbon over on the left of the ground. Here's Hodges now. And Hodges in a personal confrontation there with one around the legs. Harrison, Langer over the top. Crocker goes to the right. Wingers there. Cut out ball. Cuts out two. Finds Mullins. Puts a kick in. Came off the boot of a Bronco. It went back off that. And then it's recovered by the Roosters. Roosters have done well, but so has Darren Lockyer to clean it up and save it. It was getting to be high drama in the last little bit.
Yeah, very good play there by the Roosters, giving the ball plenty of air. We don't see Brett Mullins kick that often over the years. He did on that occasion, ran out of options. Well taken by Ryan Cross, good ball there. And Minicello, smart kick, and yeah, they've got out of jail there, the Broncos.
And the high kick has got Lockyer under trouble. Well, that's a magnificent take. Michael Crocker was all over him. Now, Takiri and Hodges, is it not Hegarty?
Yeah, I think that Takiri took great exception to Shannon Hegarty trying to rough up Darren Lockyer in the play, actually trying to drag him back into the in-goal area.
The penalty there is for in the ruck, okay? He's hurled.
Crocker made a play at the ball. There was nothing wrong with that. But Lockyer had all the work to do. And then it's Hegarty and Takiri chest to chest and breast to breast. At a time when you're hoping both of them have cleaned their teeth earlier in the day. So the penalty is kicked towards the eastern side.
And that was Michael Crocker leaving the field. Interesting to see now what Ricky Stewart does with his positional players. Sam Obst into the action.
Is that Andrew G?
It is. I guess that might mean Craig Wing goes into hooker.
Played by Webke. And now Seven Asiva. 43 metres away from the Roosters line. It's a good game. It's going from end to end. First one, then the other chance here. Berrigan, Langer. Got the ball okay, but then juggled it. Took the sting out of it. Tallis keeps going towards the short side, and Berrigan is actually tackled by Tallis. Tallis now for Langer, and Langer puts a little kick in. The outside backs are coming. De Vere, oh, he almost got a snatch on it. Hegarty has done magnificently over on the left of the ground. Hodges gets around to Keary. Eventually, Webke's there to help him put him away.
Yeah, well done, Hodges. Wants a big game against his former club and against Wayne Bennett, and he's having a great start to the match. That kick, was it such a great kick, or could Hegarty have got there on the full? He was allowed to bounce, and in the end, he did do a good job.
Penalties 4-2 now to the Roosters. Sam Obst.
That's one, Sam. Hands off.
As I mentioned, he played in the corresponding game that they got away with last year. Michael Kokitis was the other youngster that came in to fill the hole made in front row. Fittler did play that time. Fletcher finding Mullins. And 11 away from the line. They press. Ricketson. Flannery. Sam Obst. Small as they come. This is the last. Craig looked to kick, looked to pass, put a kick in, and it didn't really give them a chance to build again. You've got to get a try, or you've got to get the ball back. That was just so easy for the Bronx. 8 from 10 the Roosters, 6 from 10 the Broncos. Handling's been a little problem, particularly early for the Broncos. They look to be wanting to push it around unnecessarily. 25 away from their own line as Shane Walker sends Gordon Tallis outside the 30. Another 10-metre run by the captain, relishing the fact that he's back. He just loves this game with a passion. Lockyer's kick bounces down for Hegarty. Links up with Mullins. Mullins looks for an opening. Those legs just don't take him through the openings as quickly anymore, but he's still a class player. Now Minicello. 45 out from the line, and they go on another sortie. Flannery. Hobbs the dummy half that time. Cusack the runner. That is where they are. They're about 30 metres out as Wing cuts out a forward, gets across to Cross. Fletcher dropped a one hand. That's a Broncos ball if the touch judge. Yes, the touch judge gave his centre, and they've lost the ball again. Webke is going back into the game. Just a very small break for Shane. 15 is getting ready as well to come on for the Bronx, and that is Philip Lee. Very good player. In fact, I wouldn't mind betting when we're talking about the Broncos at the end of the year, Philip will be recognised as their number 9.
And there you can see Craig Wing still playing halfback. Sam Obst has gone to hooker and is playing dummy half as Flannery throws the cut out to Hodges. Tries to beat De Vere, but well tackled by the centre and Takiri.
Hegarty. He's been in everything tonight, Shannon. He's been responsible for plenty. Wing, a beautiful ball for Fletcher, then a lovely tackle on Fletcher from Alan Langer head on. The little bloke's got plenty of work. Oh, that's a wonderful save. It's Chris Walker under there.
I don't know Ricky Stewart would be that happy with Sam Obst. It was either the third or fourth tackle, still had a couple of plays left. And he took the chance, it didn't come off. You've got to take those chances. Wide balls now through Harrison.
Berrigan now. Humid night in Sydney. Thankfully no rain here.
It's one of the great things about this Brisbane side is that they will have a shot at you from inside their own 20. On that occasion they tried to create an overlap on the far side, fairly well read by the Roosters. They've done well, the Roosters actually. Last tackle now only 30 out from their own line and Lockyer. A little bit of pressure, charge down. And that will be a turnover.
So again, ideal field position for the Roosters. Penalty goes to them again. This time they will take the kick.
Well, this is an interesting decision. I'm not exactly sure whether they'll take the two. They have had a lot of pressure on down here. They might like to get a little bit more than just two on the board. Tallis not happy.
If they do take the kick, Peter, is it an indication that Brisbane has frustrated them with this brilliant defence?
Well, it's a wrap for the Brisbane defence, no doubt. I just thought early in the game, with a little bit of momentum their way, they might have another crack at them, but that is not the case.
And the reason that kick was charged down, a great chase on Lockyer by Sam Obst.
21 metres in from touch. He's a good kicker. And he strikes it. Touch judges didn't have to move. First points are on the board to the home side. Roosters 2, Broncos yet to score. 23rd minute. Crocker with the ball continues in the game. He's got added responsibility now that Fitzgibbon's gone, so it'll be interesting to see how many minutes in the game Michael Crocker does play. I'm just racking my brain. I don't think they got another kicker other than maybe Craig Wing. So Crocker might be out there for the long term. Dallas Hood. He played at that. It'll be a scrum. It'll be a loose head and feed to the Roosters at a point just outside the 40-metre line. Morley, talking of players that gave the supreme effort, he played 80 minutes, I should say, last weekend against the Warriors.
And so did Luke Ricketson, and he will do the same again tonight. But it is a huge loss. Craig Fitzgibbon, as we said last weekend, the weekend before, I'm sorry, he was the player of the year for them last year. Plenty of mistakes from the Broncos in the first half hour of this game.
Mullins. Hegarty. Taken down by the 18 for Brisbane, Carl Webb. That's how well off they are. Carl Webb's come off the bench. Here's a break. Cross down the right. Minicello swept it back on the inside. It probably travelled forward anyway. We will never know, but the Broncos are with it.
Yeah, another chance there for the Roosters. I think they've been targeting this side of the field just about all of the night with defenders Chris Walker and Stuart Kelly out here. They fancy their chances down there. And Ryan Cross has been into space a few times. Another mistake made by the Broncos. No, 6 to go.
Well, I think that's the correct decision. I didn't see a knock on from Brisbane before that, despite the fact the hometown crowd don't like it. Going wide again early, came off a Roosters player, not played at there. And that's a good decision from the referee and touch judge.
Here's Lee. And Philip Lee has opened them up down the right side. Centre kick from De Vere. Who leads the race? The ball does. It's dead.
Well, good work there from Philip Lee. He opened it up for his outside men. Nice chase from Michael Crocker, who comes from the inside, gets to De Vere. De Vere kicks for Takiri. It was always too long, especially with the first bounce.
So we are back. Interchanges 5-5. We are back on the 30-metre line. Roosters enter the ground. Ball kept alive by Cusack to Obst. Mullins again up at acting half through Ricketson and on to Liafa. Tallis and Berrigan. They shut him down, and they're about 8 metres from halfway as Obst goes back to his kicker, and Craig Wing with that job pretty much all to himself tonight. We've got the latitude of going one way to Wing or the other way to Fittler normally. Tonight though, Craig doing all the kicking.
Just on that goal kicking, Paul, last weekend Ryan Cross actually had one shot for an unsuccessful attempt, so I guess he is the other option.
And I've got a feeling I've seen Chris Flannery have a few shots at goal as well, Pete. So they've got a couple of would-be's out there.
Carl Webb. Philip Lee again, a nice run, a nice offload, then Langer, then Webke. 40-metre line, they're starting to put some passes together now. Lee for Langer, danger here. The kick ahead for Takiri, work for Mullins, and the ball again wins the day. And Dallas Hood in 14.
And into that real danger time now, both sides. They have been opened up on a couple of occasions. They would be loath to allow a try in the final 4-5 minutes of this first half.
Crocker on halfway. Wing, long cutout ball, and Cross can't handle. He's got the ball back, but the Broncos just in front of half time should be able to build some pressure here. Something they've only had, I think, in real terms, about one opportunity as we watch it. Fletcher getting ready. Webke. Oh dear, that's an awful pass. And Liafa has won the race for it. Well, that is sloppy from the Broncos. Ryan Cross fending left and right. Great speed shown by Berrigan. Minicello. Obst. Chance on the far left. Wing. 15 out. Centre of ground. Hegarty to the right. Now it is with Ricketson and Cusack. Ball lost. And it's a penalty. Hand on the ball.
And Luke Ricketson wants a quick tap, and they're doing that right now. He's got the ball in his hands.
Turning it back in for Wing, who comes back, links up with Liafu. And it was him that got them down here. Wing again, a burrowing run. Obst. Long ball out to Dallas Hood. And a good driving tackle from Carl Webb. Ricketson uses Flannery. Flannery turns it. Michael Crocker. 2 metres from the line. Ricketson. Obst. Pushing it to Fletcher. The centre came up out of the line. Kelly had to make the tackle.
That means they must be vulnerable there if they can get a quick play of the ball to where Kelly would be defending.
So it's come that way. Minicello dropped it on the foot. And it goes in touch in goal with just 50 seconds of the first half remaining.
Well, wonderful defence here from the Brisbane side. You can see plenty of petrol being taken out. Sivanasuva, a try saver on Michael Crocker. Looked as though they might have got through on a couple of occasions, but there was always someone there. Kelly made a good decision to go in on Fletcher. So it looks like just a 2-point ball game after half, at the halfway mark. But a very exciting contest.
Kelly. It's a very low half-time scoreline. You start racking your brain thinking about the lower scoreline prior to that. Probably was only last weekend or something, but it is a very low scoreline in today's game. Harrison picked off by Flannery.
Last tackle.
Been a little wrong with the defence tonight for Sydney Roosters. That's come off the head of Craig Wing. It's gone back to Sivanasuva. Now Lockyer is not going to let the game die just there, not yet anyway, and Langer was picked up by his boyhood idol, Sam Hobbs. Drove him into the ground. There wasn't much idolization about that from the refrigeration mechanic. 2-0 at half-time.
Make Christmas super with the latest super cheap auto catalogue. Get 40% off these Penrite full synthetic 6-litre oils and get 20% off SCA automotive and 4-wheel drive batteries. Make it super. Super cheap auto.
You should know that wherever I go, take a moment to let love show.
You can see lots of stars in Cobden, Western Victoria, the home of Western Star, where for over 94 years we've created not just butter, but a star. Western Star, more than butter.
Hey! Oh. So you do like it? Okay. I love it, yeah.
Now when you go pre-owned, you can enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota. Tested and backed by Toyota.
Upgrade your car, mate.
This? Yeah, no big deal.
Toyota certified. Pre-owned in a class of its own. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Knock, knock.
You married
No.
Whether your Christmas is small or big, Coles is making great value entertaining and gifting easy, so you can spend more time with the people you love.
Is there any?
That's value the Australian way at Coles.
G'day. They call me Mr. Cricket, but when KFC Supercoach BBL fires up, I become
Supercoach.
That's Mr. Supercoach to you.
The KFC Big Bash League before it ends on February 4th. Feel it live. Tickets on sale now.
He has his eyes set on the light heavyweight title. But a lot of people believe Agamemnon and Goliath is a champion. That is an amazing fight.
Paul Simpkins. I think he's got it 100% right so far. You can almost tell that, can't you, when you haven't seen him for 40 minutes. Minicello brings it back. First kick return, second half. Can they do it again? They beat them twice in the premiership rounds last year. The significant loss they had to them, of course, was in the grand final 2 years ago when the Broncos took the sting out of the grand final party for the Roosters.
And tackle in opposition 20. Roosters have had all the ball, haven't they? Still haven't come up with a 4-pointer. So that's a good sign. The Brisbane Broncos defence is really strong tonight. That came off Lockyer's leg. That's play on. And a couple of other stats. In the opposing half, Roosters 60%, the Broncos 40. Luke Ricketson 20 tackles. He's leading the way well in defence. And for the Broncos, Webke 18 hit-ups and 13 tackles, leads in both departments. And a mistake made by the Broncos.
That's Chris Walker over there. He's taken in a two-man tackle. But I don't... Oh, gee, it did get some help.
It's a dead set hand in there by Craig Wing, and that touch judge, who is a matter of 10 metres away, has missed that.
I disagree a little bit there. I would have thought it might have been on that touch judge's blind side. It was more Simpkins' call. 5 seconds after I finished giving him a rap. Hegarty now. Off to the right, running into Webke. Not a good policy. Obst. Wing. Fletcher did well, and then ball lost. Now there's a foot race on. That is Kelly. Kelly's away. They're not going to get him. Kelly's in for the Broncos. Off one of the few Roosters mistakes which emanated from a grassing tackle, I believe, on Brian Fletcher.
And one of the players in the Brisbane side who can go the length of the field, Stuart Kelly, got abundant pace. Alan Langer putting good pressure on Fletcher. And I think Anthony Minicello realises how quick Stuart Kelly is. That's why he dived fairly early. Minicello has got great pace as well, but I think when he saw the number 3 on the back, he thought, I've got to get this bloke earlier, I may not pick him up.
Yeah, look at Alfie, he sprinted out of the line to make that tackle. The ball came loose. I'm not sure if Fletcher tried to offload it. And then I believe that Minicello's made a mistake here. I think he went off too early. He's pretty quick, Minicello, and I think he should have hung in there. All he did was take himself out of play.
I was going to say it would be a big psychological boost to whatever side scores the first try. Brisbane have got the first one and they are capable of putting them back to back pretty quickly. The Roosters would feel as though they were justified in getting the first one because they probably had more opportunities in the first half. That will deflate them somewhat.
It was an interesting little exercise out there. Kelly was the ball carrier, so that's immediately a handicap. He's run away from Minicello, and Walker, Chris Walker, allegedly the quickest in the Brisbane Broncos team, he was flat strapped trying to stay with him as well. So I've got to say that Stuart Kelly's a lot faster than I thought he was. 15 in from touch, chance for one of the good sharpshooters, De Vere, and he has missed it. Andrew.
Well, let's have a look at how all that unfolded with a scoreline at 4 points to 2. This tackle from Alan Langer on Brian Fletcher, I mean, that is a real grassing tackle from the little number 7, forcing the error, and then Stuart Kelly away. Just on the half-time report, Ray, I can tell you it was all fairly basic out of the Broncos room. Things like good kick and chase, ball control needs to improve, that sort of thing. But from Ricky Stewart, his message to his players, bit of passion in the voice of Ricky Stewart, I'm told, at half-time. You've worked so hard out there in that first 40 minutes. Let's not let it slip. Keep up the intensity, keep the pressure on these blokes. You have forced some errors, so they're only 2 points behind. Ricky Stewart very happy with the effort so far.
5 on 3 here. The Broncos going down the right of the ground. Roosters concertina defence.
And you're always very keen after you do score points to make sure that the restart is positive, and Sivanasiva and Webke did exactly that. 4 tackles there at the halfway line. The 5th, they're over it. Now they'll be kicking from great position.
Lockyer's kick, very, very high. The bounce is okay for Hodges, but it really could have backfired. Haggerty. He could put his hand up for the Queensland side.
Yeah, he has looked very threatening tonight. He's a class player, got plenty of speed. And, in front of the Queensland coach, he's playing very well.
Ryan Cross. Here's Fletcher. Cusack. 40-metre line. Sydney's end of the ground. Ricketson. Craig Wing. Bouncing in over to the... Oh, gee, Takiri had to move quickly eventually. What he did do by his lethargy, he let the defence get a clean shot on him from close proximity. Lockyer. Completion rates there. Has there been a penalty in the game for foul play? Walker. I can't recall one. Sivanasiva.
I can speak from experience here, but Carl Webb looked different with hair.
You should try it sometime.
He's got the colour times, and I haven't realised who it is because we saw him. There he is. Oh, doing. No, he's lost the football.
Now, chance for Sydney Roosters. Flannery for the corner. Flannery's over. Lost the ball. I don't think he got it down.
Oh, unbelievable. He was going to score. It was one of the best spins you've ever seen. A great pick-up from a mistake, and he sprinted away. Chris Flannery, he's injured in that incident there when he tried to score. He's got clutching at the shoulder. He had 2 speedsters chasing him, Takiri and Lockyer. Lockyer gone, Takiri comes, and he's come up a shandy off the try line. Great work by Takiri.
Never say die from the Brisbane winger. And the man I was talking about, Carl Webb, failed to take the pass. Somehow Flannery got the rebound and almost got across, and it is a double whammy against them. He's come down awkwardly on that arm, that shoulder.
One thing we're sure of is there is no try. He definitely lost it prior to the line. I thought just for a moment he might have still had some possession of it actually on the line. Just looking away from the scene of Flannery back inside the 20-metre line. There's another of the Roosters getting an ankle strapped, Dallas Hood.
Well, they're getting into trouble if they've got Fitzgibbon out for the game and maybe Flannery as well.
A green no try there. That's something different. Normally they're red. Maybe trying to confuse everyone. Yeah, the ball comes loose.
Maybe the video ref's colourblind.
Yeah, you can see that right shoulder gets really extended. It was a great chase by Takiri, and he looks in a world of pain.
Now, I think Brian, well, there goes Flannery up that tunnel, and Brian Fletcher saying to the referee, you can't start yet. We've got a new man coming out. His name is Leaffer, Mark Leaffer. And Brisbane winning the scrum back on their own 10-metre line. Laying up for Webke, and Webke meets them, and against two of them, well, I won't say he won the battle, but he didn't lose any ground. Fletcher hung on. Here's Webb, and he is a different looking customer with a bit of hair. Now set to receiver. He looks to me like he's travelling across the ground a bit faster this year. Harrison. It is 4-2 in favour of the Brisbane Broncos. And we're getting fairly deep into the second half. So it's still a very low scoring game. Minicello across the ground, trying to sell a dummy on Langer, hoping to put Mullins away if he passes, but taking the chance to step between Langer and Harrison, who makes that tackle. 35 out from their own line. They find Cusack leaping high to take the pass. Webke makes the tackle. That's a good ball from Cusack. It's finished up with Leaffer. Now away goes Crocker. So the Roosters using their forwards to take it just into Brisbane territory. Peggotty, wing. Here's Crocker now. They lost Fitzgibbon early, and this is their #1 goal kicker. He's been asked to play longer than was originally intended. Wing's kick has got a few players in front of the kick, and Kelly obliges on the far side. A little break that the Roosters were looking for with the high ball.
Really never looked comfortable under that. Stuart Kelly had to look over at Darren Lockyer to see where he was. That's the reaction on the bench. There in the background is Eric Growth just in front of Craig Fitzgibbon. He is the other interchange player that is yet to be used by Ricky Stewart.
Roosters then aiming up. Wing. Hodges acting hard. Here's Leaffer. Strong. Looks like he might be able to play like Solomona. Here's Ricketson. There's a gap. There's an opening. It's a penalty.
Shepherd pulled it back straight away. He didn't worry about going to the video referee. Didn't allow it to play on. He just pulled it up straight away.
And Brian Fletcher nodded to the referee saying, yes, you've got it right. Luke Ricketson again as captain questions it. But Brian Fletcher is ruled to have taken out Alan Langer illegally, thus creating the overlap.
And that's a very good decision. No play in there by Alan Langer.
And that is one of the criteria on the ruling on a decoy and obstruction, is to whether there is contact by the decoy runner. And there was plenty of it there.
got to say it was a brilliant piece of refereeing. Everybody in this commentary team agrees that he got it right, but he acted so quickly he didn't leave any room for doubt. He didn't call for anybody else's opinion. And now it is a penalty to the Broncos.
And again, the referee was quite happy to have ruled a knock-on against Sivana, but he got a call from the far touch judge, and that resulted in the penalty.
Webke. So they've come in piggyback fashion off 2 penalties to be really, really attacking now. That is Carlaw. Here is Langer. Gee, that's a rifle pass. Langer, Lockyer did well. Tallis. Three of them eventually putting him away. The ball. Right for Harrison. Last test for the defence. Langer's grubber kick picked up by Cusack. That is where Langer is at his most dangerous. Now will Sydney Roosters counter-attack like Brisbane did? There's plenty of walking wounded at the Sydney Roosters at the back of play.
As I say, Ray, they won't be counter-attacking too strongly because they are looking a little bit tired at the moment.
Yeah, this has been an absolute assault by the Brisbane Broncos forwards. Webke, Sivana, Tallis running as hard as they can, and they're starting to take an effect on the Roosters players.
Now they got front rowers kicking. Dallas Hood. Returned by Lockyer. Speared into the chest of Takiri. Stampedes over another. Plays it 40 metres out. Langer, quick ball off the ground for De Vere.
And what an important tackle there from the same man, Dallas Hood, who kicked. He came across in cover for Takiri.
Andrew G. 42 metres out from the line for Sean Berrigan. Webke. Lost the ball. And I think maybe he's going to have a look at that. Oh, a tremendous piece of footwork by Minicello. No room to work in. Got around Kelly. Crocker now in the centre of the park. 4-2 Broncos. 26 to go. Obst. Wing. Fletcher inside ball for Lomu. 30 metres out from the line. Fletcher to the blind. Looked on his right shoulder for Hegarty, who had dropped off. Obst. Here is Lomu. Across for Wing. Now Ricketson. Ryan Cross. Wingers unmarked. Minicello is into the corner. It is 6-4.
Yeah, great work there by the Roosters. Creating space for Minicello. And this is the turnover. Shane Webke attempting to pass the football. Lost it forward. Dived on by Brian Fletcher. And at the end of the next set of 6, well, leading up to it, this is where Minicello nearly got around Stuart Kelly before being cleaned up by Chris Walker. And then they kept the pressure going, ending up on the same side of the field, going wide, late in the count. Nice ball from Wing. See the Brisbane defence there. And we freeze it there. This is the man that they're trying to attract in. Great work by the ball carrier. He will continue to come forward and bring that winger in. And as play continues, gets his arms free, Ryan Cross, basketballer over the top, just enough room for Minicello, gets it down in the corner.
And they've got him down that side again. As I said in the first half, targeting that side 6 or 7 occasions. And this occasion it has worked. Chris Walker didn't read it. He should have stayed out on his wingman. He didn't. Came in and the try scored.
'23rd try of his career for a crowd-pleasing wing three-quarter, Anthony Minicello. Michael Crocker now with 2/3 of his kicks successful. From 22 out and the sideline. Looks good. It's there. Wonderful kick from Michael Crocker. The Roosters now leading by 4. 56th minute. Broncos off the boot of Michael De Vere. Put the ball back into the contest. 20 is Cusack. Lomu 25 metres out from their own line. It's amazing just when you look at them and you think to yourself, gee, they're walking, they're wounded. Brisbane are about to give it to them. Then they score a try.
Well, Ray, I really think Brisbane invited them to get interested in the contest once again. Webke losing the football there. In fact, the last couple of times Brisbane have had it, they have made mistakes.
Takiri offers it for Lockyer. Lockyer travels across the 20-metre line. Kelly straightened up beautifully. And the ball is lost. It is a penalty to the Broncos. Now there's Flannery. Andrew, what is the diagnosis on that?
On Chris, it is a dislocated shoulder. They have popped it back in, but obviously drama for Chris Flannery, not just tonight, but for the weeks ahead. Now, with 23 minutes remaining, the Roosters have 4 interchanges up their sleeve, but of course now, with Fitzgibbon and Flannery both out, they've only got 2 players to rotate.
Andrew, do you think we'll see Eric Grothe come into this game?
Well, I think you will. I mean, he only got 18 or 19 minutes last week against the Warriors, but I do think they just have to rest some players somewhere across the park. There's players out there now that have had more game time than they would have been thinking they would have to have going into tonight.
And while Andrew was talking, you saw a vigorous run from Dane Carlaw. Langer getting it back for Berrigan. Berrigan rounded up by Ryan Cross. Then from Shane Walker, finding Langer. Langer for Tallis! And the rampaging ball does it again. The combination. Langer, Tallis to the fore. Champagne. Great players. One of them a legend. The other, I think, heading there.
Hard to stop, isn't it, as we freeze it there. Look at Langer coming to the line. All these defenders coming at him. The run from Tallis coming back into the hole is important. As Alfie goes to the line, into fresh air, Gordon Tallis. Just a little left foot step to take it around. It's tough to stop.
It doesn't get any better than this. One of the great second rowers of the modern era. There's a great decoy on the outside of Tallis as well by Chris Walker. He ran up very quickly, attracted a man on the outside and opened up the hole for Gordon Tallis, and he bangs this one down with gusto. He knows they needed this badly.
Playing his 100th premiership game for the Broncos tonight. And of course, that milestone would have come up during last year if it wasn't for that spinal injury that he suffered. Right in front for Mick De Vere to take the Broncos back to the lead. They lead 10-8. That's the first real chance for Little Bloke, maybe the second time in the game that he's had a chance in his pet area. Andrew.
Well, Ray, I hope the Roosters supporters watching don't mind me saying that's one of the highlights for mine tonight, to see Gordon Tallis in action. You've got to think back middle of last year, not just his season in doubt, but his whole career in doubt because of that neck injury he suffered in round 13 against the Eagles. But to have him back tonight and to run off an Alan Langer pass, Ray, I bet you never thought middle of last year you were going to call that again.
Over now for Berrigan. Lockyer's into the back line. That's danger. Walker's away down the left of the ground. Lockyer's backing up. That is superb. That is one of the reasons he is one of the best footballers in the world today. Oh, what about the speed of Chrissy Walker? They've given him plenty. He deserved most of it. He got a reprieve. He's made the best of it.
And that was the mistake, and this is Brisbane at their backline best. You go wide, you freeze it there. You can see they've got Minicello turning around. It's 2-on-1. That's the man coming straight. That's the outside support player, and they execute it beautifully. Play continues into the hole, the pass. Too much speed for Ryan Cross, Chris Walker. And then a lovely little ball back inside to the support play of Darren Lockyer. That was just lovely to watch, and as I say, great execution.
Yeah, this is the reason Chris Walker's in this team tonight. They haven't scored many tries so far this year. He scored 5 himself last week. Another set up that one there. Beautiful hole running. Lovely hands from Darren Lockyer. He's playing fullback. He's got the hands of a 5'8".
It was interesting to hear Gordon Tallis last week saying that they thought that the up and in defence could have been exploited against Bulldogs better on a dry track. The Roosters have employed that a lot this evening. And on that occasion, they were able to get outside the men coming in and take full advantage.
And Michael De Vere has had some relatively easy kicks with the boot, but none easier than that. So Brisbane by 16-8, and Friday night football. The boys had a crackerjack game last Friday night, then again last Sunday, and this hasn't fallen far short of either of those games. And we are looking at top draw tonight. Ball comes out. I think he's just lost it of his own accord. It's Berrigan. Well, you can't afford to give them any sniffs, and you certainly can't to give them these sort of opportunities.
No, just when you need a break, the Roosters get one.
There was a little tickle of some fingers there.
Langer's he's doing what he does best, injecting himself when it is the right time. And defensively, as you pointed out, he's been really good at coming up and making the crucial tackle, and there he is involved once again.
It's growth. Gee, they've got some speed out wide, the Roosters, haven't they, to choose from. Minicellos and Hodges, Growth, Haggerty's. Crocker's been great tonight. His workload was made more difficult with the loss of Fitzgibbon, but he's stood up to the block beautifully. Wings pass, finding Mullins. 6 more tackles. Lomu throws it on the ground, and it's been cleaned up. Cleaned up by Hodges for 6 more. Haggerty. 28 metres out now from the Brisbane line, and it's a penalty. Hand on the ball. So they don't muck around. The Roosters doing a Brisbane on Brisbane. They've got to get the 2 points somewhere. Another penalty. Simpkins just being tested a little bit.
Yeah, Brisbane just need to be careful here. The last thing in the world they want is to have a player in the sin bin. Still a little bit of time on the clock. One player short would give the opportunity to the opposition as wing. Long ball to Crocker once again.
Crocker running at Berrigan. Ricketson now looking at his options. They go to Chris Walker's wing. Cross got a ball away. Brisbane are with it. And it's Brent Tate on the far side.
Just a lack of patience there with the football in their hands. The Roosters, plenty of tackles up their sleeve, and a pass thrown that didn't have to be thrown. Carl Webb gets ready to come back on for the last couple of minutes.
De Vere now. Philip Lee.
This game appears out of reach now for the Roosters, and it's been a great performance by them, I felt, tonight. Lots of courage shown with 3 of their leading players out. Some of the players who filled in have played really well.
Look at Walker again. Walker's into opening. Lockyer's with him again. The Walker having a brilliant last 10 minutes to the game.
By his own admission, Darren Lockyer has been a little bit away from the play in the first couple of weeks, but now he is back. As play goes straight up the middle there. Wonderful opening set up by Alan Langer again, and then the support players there. Chris Walker stays alive after throwing the ball to Lockyer. The dummy again, turning Minichiello inside out, and they finished with a flourish.
There's no substitute in this game for pure speed, and that's what this man has got, Chris Walker. From a standing start, a lovely 20-metre run, sets it up, plenty of work to do for Lockyer, but that little dummy there caught them out, and class prevails. The Broncos have worn down the Roosters tonight. Been a great last 15 minutes for them. Roosters looking very tired the last little bit.
Just look at some of the little things he's doing, Paul, and then I ask the question, who does he remind you of, the way he moves? And I know it's been discussed before. I can just see Brett Kenny in this bloke, just the way he moves, the things he does. Or Peter, you know Kenny better than anybody as Tallis goes for a break.
Look, I think if you look at the way the blokes move, yes, there is a similarity to Brett Kenny. Steve Rogers was the same. That they're just poetry in motion with the way they move. They make it look so effortless, so easy. Just style and grace.
Well, they're talking about Andrew Johns as being the best player in the world today. Maybe he is, but gee, I tell you what, Darren Lockyer would get plenty of votes. 12 in from touch for De Vere, and this time he lands it. 22 points to 8. 1 minute to go. Andrew.
Well, wrapping Darren Lockyer, wrap 2 for Chris Walker. A couple of weeks ago, he had some problems off the field up in Townsville after a First Division match. He was disciplined by the club. He's led to both the tries for Darren Lockyer, but I can tell you that Chris Walker made a pledge to Wayne Bennett after that recent incident. He won't have another drink this season. And I tell you what, he's got his life back in order. Last week up in Queensland, scored 4 tries for Toowoomba. 5 tries, in fact, for Toowoomba against the East Coast Tigers. And tonight, he's bounced back to first-grade form. Good style.
So, just a little hint of a knock-on, but it came off, I believe, the leg.
I think Walker last week actually played lock as well. So getting him closer to the action. As we come into the last 10 seconds of this game, brave effort from the Roosters, as Paul pointed out, but Brisbane have stamped their class.
I was just looking at the on-field advertising for the Roosters club. Their next home game here is a crackerjack game. It's against the Newcastle Knights. That is the last play of the ball. Thoroughly entertaining game of rugby league. Tallis celebrated 100 for the Broncos tonight. Langer was brilliant. Lockyer was classical. And then, of course, the Roosters should not hang their heads in shame. They were right in this until the last few moments of the game. It was 22 points to 8 at full time in favour of 5 times premiership winners, the Brisbane Broncos.